Boom shakalaka, how much will 130 Radium coins be worth at the end of 2025? And more importantly, how many Ray do you need to be a millionaire? Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we're taking a look at how much 130 Radium coins will be worth at the end of Altseason 2025. And more importantly, how many Ray you need to be a millionaire. Before we get into it, guys, like the video, join us on Twitter at @CryptoLove, and of course, subscribe to the OG Bitcoin and Crypto YouTube channel, making daily videos since 2017. Now, it does appear like we are at a very important part of this market. What part would you say? Well, that is the part where Bitcoin, this purple line, hits this green line, the EMA Bollinger Bands line. And historically, if we take a look, what happened right after Bitcoin hits that line is Bitcoin dominance drops off. This happened in 2017, happened in 2021. It would only follow that it would happen once again. And as Bitcoin dominance drops off, guess what? Altcoins rise dramatically. So it does appear like it is time. And if we take a look on another chart with the RSI lining up just at this reaccumulation zone right here, also the Bitcoin or total market cap breakout territory, breaking out of this wedge and the double bottom formation, all of this suggesting we are due for alt season. Matter of fact, even just seasonality, Q1 and Q2 historically is when the ETH Bitcoin comparative has some green candles, and ETH being a pretty reliable indicator for altcoins, it would only follow that we should have an alt season up until about the middle of this year. We see some indicators flagging like this crossing of the WMA and SMA on total 3 versus Bitcoin. When this has happened historically, has led to alt season. Also, the super trend has flipped bullish on the 2-month candles right here. Both times was the kickoff for alt season. So we might be set up for a perfect alt season. As a matter of fact, a bigger alt season than we've seen in a long time, because this small little fractal right here, which took 1 cycle, has blown up to 2 cycles long, which means that this little alt season right here might blow up to something twice as large. You have to consider a lot more money in cryptocurrency than there's ever been before. So all of those things considered, why might we take a look at Radium? Well, a lot of this is just based off of the monthly DEX volume on Solana, Base, and Ethereum. Radium is basically your go-to place to buy everything on Solana. And as Solana and meme coins continue to take off, guess what? The money would probably follow into Radium. So if we take a look today, Radium price 786. It's up from when I even made the chart that follows. Market cap at $2.28. And if we take a look here at this chart, there's something very, very interesting in this chart, which, if we go over to TradingView, I can show you right here. So this is the same chart, and we have a few things of interest to take a look at. First would be the most notable thing that I saw there, this massive cup and handle formation right here. Now, generally a bullish indicator. If this plays out, then price should go up as high as the depth of the cup. We should put it about $12.85. Also worth noting is that price recently has just broken out from this resistance trend line. You can see that it was resistance back here in December, here in March, here in November, and guess what? Price just broke through not only the confirmation point of this cup and handle, but also through this trend line right here. Some people might argue you could even have an inverse head and shoulders right there, which if you base the height of that, and we could see that it would roughly bring price up to something like $10 per Raydium coin. Now, there is one little place to take a look at. This $9 territory was a lot of support back here in 2021 after the all-time high. So, might see a little bit of resistance at that $9 range, but should price break through there, oh my goodness, could be headed up a lot higher, which brings us to the price predictions for Radium. Now, had you have been a savvy investor and you bought down here at the bottom back in July because you knew it was just a fake out, we were all getting wicked off, and then you sold a few months later in September of 2021 at the top, way up here, guess what? You could have bought at $2.66. You could have sold at $16.93. You would have 6x'd whatever you put in there, meaning that had you have had $158,000, pat yourself on the back, and had you been the savvy investor that you are, put that in at the bottom of July 2021, sold at the top of September 2021, well, you would have bought 59,000 Radium coins, and you would have been a millionaire, and you probably wouldn't be watching this video right now. But does a better opportunity exist? Well, arguably, yeah. So we're going to take a look at that today. Let's say you have $1,000 burning a hole in your pocket, or we just use that number because it's a big even. You could make it $100, you can make it $10, you can make it 10,000, 100,000, million, whatever you have lying around. And you watch this video, you're pretty convinced, you like the chart, you like, I don't know what you like, but anyways, you want to buy some Radium coins. So with that $1,000, you could buy 130 Ray. Now, let's just say that Radium goes back to its previous all-time high, which was seen back in September of 2021, which would not be unreasonable. I mean, you have to think that was pretty much alt season top. We are just getting started in the alt season now. If it didn't reach that, it would be a pretty poor performance for Radium. So if it just made it back to its previous all-time high price, you would 2x that $1,000 that you put in, making you $2,200 with an almost $17 Radium and a $5 billion market cap. But if it just hit previous all-time highs, that would be kind of boring, especially if you consider there's a lot more trading going on Solana now, I would think, than there was previous cycle. And especially as alt season continues, oh my goodness, there's going to be a lot more trading on Solana. So that brings us to our next scenario. You know, Radium is not the first exchange for the first layer one that was popular. There was before Solana, might have been before your time. There was this thing called Ethereum, and there was probably one of the most popular decentralized exchanges back then called Uniswap. Now, Uniswap once had a market cap of $23 billion. It wouldn't be unreasonable for Radium to hit that target. As a matter of fact, it would be pretty likely considering the popularity of Solana and Radium and meme coins this cycle. So if Radium did hit the market cap that Uniswap hit last cycle, guess what? You would 10x your $1,000, making you $10,234 with a $79 Radium. And again, pretty reasonable scenario. I could see both of these scenarios happening without a doubt this cycle. Which brings us to our next scenario. You know, Solana is basically the reason why Radium is around and is doing well. Now, as Solana continues to grow, Radium will continue to grow. As of right now, market cap of Solana, $127 billion. Well, that's going to keep on growing. So wouldn't Radium continue growing? Could it potentially grow to as large as Solana? Yeah, it's possible. Well, if it did that, guess what? You would 56x your $1,000, making you $56,512 with a $435 Ray coin. Which brings us to our last two scenarios. Definitely less realistic, but hey, they're long shots, and that's why we have this channel. So this kind of bases itself off of this chart, which is like one of my favorite charts. I call this expanding cycles theory, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to do that. But you can see this small little fractal, price gets hammered down, consolidation, breakout, retest, alt season, much bigger over 2 cycles, which would mean it would be much bigger. So you would think that smaller altcoins would do as well as larger altcoins did last cycle. It only seems to make sense, or maybe it just makes sense to me and none of you get it. You'll have to let me know down in the comments if it makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. So last cycle, Ethereum had a market cap of $559 billion. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a number of altcoins this cycle that have a similar market cap. Now, if Radium is one of those, like let's say Solana just takes off, it flippins Ethereum, and alongside Solana goes Radium, well, maybe Radium could have a $559 billion market cap. And if that happened, guess what? You would 246x your $1,000, making you $248,742 with a $1,913 Radium coin. Which brings us to our last scenario. Once upon a time, people thought it was humanly impossible to run a 4-minute mile. And then one dude did it, and the following year, 20 other people followed it and did it just as well. It was impossible, and all of a sudden everybody did it. Well, as of yet, a $1 trillion market cap altcoin has been impossible, but it may not be impossible forever. And I have a feeling that once one altcoin breaks through $1 trillion market cap, there'll be a number of other ones that break through there. Now, this might be a long shot for Radium, but it might not be. And if it did happen this cycle, guess what? You would 440x your $1,000, making you $444,390 with a $3,400 Radium coin. And if that happened, guess what? Just a mere $2,273 of Radium today, or roughly 300 Ray, would make you a millionaire, realistically. So if you enjoyed that, we actually have a whole playlist of crypto price predictions for 2025 right up there. As a matter of fact, that first one, we nailed the XRP 5X price pump price 4 months before it even happened. So that's all for this episode. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.